How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to That Meal Podcast. I hope you're doing well. My name's Omar. As always, I am joined by Mickey Simpson, halfway through his dog walk. Hello, pal. How are you?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. You all right?
Yeah, I mean, it could be better if we all played well yesterday and gave us something to shout about from the rooftops, but it's one of those, isn't it, mate? And obviously, we're trying to keep to our podcast regime, ain't we, at the minute? So we're doing our best to get a show out tonight. So, yeah,
No, that's
it's
it.
one of those ones, right?
Yeah, no, it's all good, mate. It's all good. Look, bit of fresh air, bit of outside broadcasting, all good, innit? Do you know what I
That's
mean?
it. We're going to have to do it in IRL, in real life show soon, mate, for sure. I think we've said
Definitely.
it before.
Yeah, no, we'll get you around my house, mate. We're sitting in the back garden and we'll get it all going and all that. Do you know what I mean? I've got the leads, I brought the leads and stuff like that ready to go. So we can make sure we get the broadband in the garden, crack open some beers, a big fat cigar, and we can just talk bollocks for an hour.
Sounds good to me, mate. Sounds good. Right, we're going to end this bit here and have part number one. Part one will be about the Fulham game, and then briefly at the end, we'll talk about the Cardiff game coming up on Saturday. We'll be right back. And welcome to the first part of the show. As mentioned, we're Mickey's out and about there. But, mate, let's talk about that game yesterday. Mill went down 2-1 defeat to Fulham. Just obviously initial thoughts after the game, mate. I know you put a couple of tweets out during at half-time, didn't you, on the Twitter handle? I think a lot of people agree with you, to be honest, mate. It was absolute drab in that first half, wasn't it?
We were embarrassing. We sort of knew we were going to be up against it with Fulham, but it was like an exhibition game, you know what I mean? It was like we were playing fucking Sunday League team, and we were the Sunday League team, and they were Barcelona of old school greatness. Do you know what I mean? We got absolutely ripped apart. We were too open in the middle. We just didn't seem to have any composure. We couldn't put passes together. We couldn't do fucking anything. Excuse the noise. There's some knobhead riding a motorbike across a fucking place with dogs. So if I jump up and have to beat him up, then I'll do a live feed on that as well.
That'll make some quality viewing, mate. That would be for the podcast. I'll tell you that much.
Dog lead round the head.
That's it. Millwall fan filming podcast, clubbed as someone around the head. But, mate, I mean, it wasn't the ideal start, was it? 8 minutes in, we was 2-0 down. First goal came courtesy of slap defending, I'm going to call it. I think it's Carvalho, the Fulham player they've got there. Clifton Bell's trying to track him, get there to the touchline down the left-hand side. And then there's Mitrovic, of all people. I mean, Mitrovic flatters the sea for a lot of people, but Mitrovic there to tuck it away to make it 1-0 to Fulham. About 3 or 4 minutes later, this time down the right-hand side, just making us look like we're not even there. Cabano picks out Carvalho again, goes for goal, near post, beats Bielkowski. A lot of people critical of the goalkeeper for the 2 goals, mate. But overall, as the team, that was just, defence wasn't really there for either goal, was it?
No, I don't blame Bart for it. I think at the end of the day, I think our defence just wasn't there, and the midfield just weren't stopping anything. So they were chipping it over, and they were off, and we definitely didn't have the legs. I mean, the second goal, that Carvalho, is it Carvalho?
Carvalho, yeah.
Fuck me, 18 years old. He's got some legs on him, mate, and he left us for dead. He was like fucking lighting the fuse wire, and off he went. Boff. He was faster than the ground, mate. Do you know what I mean? There was no catching him, and that was the thing with Keith as well. That I think it weren't through will of trying. He just didn't have the legs, and if they got a run on him, he was fucked. He couldn't do anything. He just had to sit there and go, oh well, I can't do nothing, and that was the problem. But we were well open in the middle. They were getting through without a problem. We were playing into them. We just, it's again what we've said every fucking show for so long. You don't play 5 at the back,
especially at the Den. That's it, mate. It's a hard one to take, really. I think I'm looking back at the goals right now, and whilst I was obviously there last night, they weren't the greatest of goals either for Fulham, and it could have been 4, 5, 6-0 at half time. And obviously, we'll talk about the team. You said 5 at the back. You made a couple of changes. I'll name drop one. Marlon Romeo coming in. Romeo came in for McNamara, and mate, it wasn't a great half of Romeo, was it? There, I know, obviously, you were in between there, but Romeo wasn't great at all. McNamara kind of came in second half and just steadied the ship a little bit. But what did you make of Marlon's performance yesterday?
Marlon was shit. There was no way he should have got that position over Danny Mack. When Danny Mack come on, we looked like a different team. We were better controlled. They were getting down. I know Gary said, it weren't Romeo's fault. But Romeo was in that position and he weren't supposed to let people past him. And people were fucking running past him like he was opening the fucking door. It was as if he was a concierge at a 5-star hotel. He's like, good morning, sir. Come through this way. and everyone was fucking running in wild, and it was just bollocks. We shouldn't have had that many opportunities, allowing them to go. We are a capable team of being able to defend against them, but we just didn't perform. We were shit.
Yeah, agree with you, mate. I mean, the team itself was Bielkowski in goal, Ballard, Murray Wallace centre half with Jake Cooper left side centre half, Scott Malone left wing back, Marlon Romeo right wing back, and then Ryan Leonard returned to the side in the middle with Kieftenbeld and obviously Saville, and then Afobe and Wallace up top. I mean, he made the one change we've all been calling for, Mickey. That was Leonard in for George Evans. I thought Leonard was okay. I mean, he didn't do anything to harm his critics, so to speak, and he came into the side and done his bit, but it's just stumbling blocks, mate. And at half time, we make that change. You know, Romeo comes off, obviously, probably the worst 45 minutes he's played in the Mill shirt. I don't want him to be a boo boy because I do like Marlon, and I agree with you. McNamara, for me, every day of the week should get into this side ahead of him. I think he kind of thinks he's got two great right backs to choose from, and he thought, I'm going to throw Romeo into this one. He played well last week in the Cup against Portsmouth, but different kettle of fish playing Portsmouth in the Cup one week and then playing Fulham the week after, mate.
Yeah, two completely different kettles of fish. I mean, I'll tell you another standout player from yesterday, mate, was fucking Daniel Ballard. What a player, mate. He was superb for us. What a signing. You know, every ball. I mean, even when he fucking kneed Bart in the face, do you know what I mean? It was pure commitment. Absolute commitment he gave from the minute that started to the minute it ended. He was over everything. He was trying his hardest to get a foot on everything, and it's just a shame that 99% of the rest of them just didn't do the same. We just weren't firing. Whatever reason, we weren't firing. But Fulham's fitness, Fulham's money, everything else about them, you can tell that they were a Premiership team. They've only just, you know what I mean? You can tell that they're Premiership class.
I think it's, for me anyway, it wasn't necessarily just getting turned over. It was more so the mistakes we was making, constantly misplacing passes, constantly, going for tackles and missing the players. I think it was just the players just really weren't on it, mate. And I think if you're Rowett, you're kind of thinking you've had two home games in the league where, crowds will be there. First game of the season against Blackburn, and then you've got a London derby against Fulham. It's two real opportunities to kind of, if not win the game, at least show what this side's about. And if anything, after both games, the fans are just not turning, but it just brings doubt, doesn't it? And skepticism to his plans and his hopes for the team.
Yeah, it's the same thing as what we say all the fucking time with Millwall, right? Is that we don't care if we get spanked 5-0. But if every player out there had put effort in, we couldn't care less, right? But to be 2-0 down in 8 minutes, and I'm not being funny, we were all thinking we were going to be 8-0 down by the end of the first half, or at least by the end of the second half, and we weren't. We were just like, passes and tackles and everything else, what they'd win day in, day out, training pitch, normal games, they'd win. They were fucking losing. They just couldn't put anything. It was as if, oh my God, I'm playing next to a £15 million player or a £10 million player, or it was just as if the whole fucking event was just too overpowering for them. They were just, overwhelmed by everything what was going on. And you just think, get a grip. You're fucking professional football players. You should just go out there and do it. They're no different to playing Portsmouth, to playing Fulham. Yeah, they're a little bit better, but they still ain't going to like you going through them if you can go through them rather than fucking miss them and end up coming off the one of the outside lines or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking madness.
Yeah, I mean, the argument that's going around is obviously, whilst we weren't great, a lot of people have obviously, not scapegoated it, but have said there's a team you're coming against that's got tens and hundreds of millions worth of talent in there, and there's us one measly 6 million. But like I said, just to hit home on it, it's just it was no lack of desire, but it was just there was no quality on show whatsoever from our side, and we think this is one of the best sides we've got for a long while, Mickey. And it gives you a kind of reality check, doesn't it, to show Fulham's hotly anticipated to be in the top four for a reason. Do you know what I mean? They expect us to be in and around it, and I think after seeing them last night, I expect them to be maybe in the top two come the end of the season.
Oh, 100%. If they don't get automatic playoff, then they're really, really fucking fallen short of this season. But people who say, "Oh yeah, we're in a good time." Well, we turn over Everton, we turn over Leicester, we turn over. We've turned over good teams fairly. Without too much effort you know, a lot less effort than what we were putting in yesterday and fucking it up. So it's an excuse, yeah, 100 million, 200 million pound team compared to what we are, you know, a £6 million team. But I don't think that's an excuse you can run on.
Agreed with you, mate. And obviously, half time came. Like I said, we made them changes. Second half, mate. I think, you know, I've got a few mates of mine that are texting me or sitting in the crowd with me. They're saying if he comes out with 5 at the back again in the second half, you know, for all they care, he can walk tonight. Some of them were saying. He makes the change, goes 4 at the back. You know, we kind of rally. I mean, let's be honest, Fulham could have scored 2 or 3 themselves in the second half anyway. But I'll talk about a bright spark. Afobe got his first goal, albeit he didn't know much about it.
Didn't fucking know nothing about that. That come off his fucking forehead on the top of his head. He didn't know anything about it. Look, but at the end of the day, he's a striker. He's paid to be in that position at the right time, and he was there at the right time and took the deflection, and it went in. And you know what? I'll take that. To end that game yesterday 2-1, rather than potentially 6, 7, 8-0, I'll take that all day long. Do you know what I mean? The goal difference we still there, we're all right with, and we move on and we take on Cardiff at the weekend.
Agreed, mate. I agree with you there. I mean, obviously, like I said, Phoebe getting that goal. Matt Smith was instrumental in that assist. He had a couple headed chances himself as well. I think he just kind of reminded Rout, you know, whilst maybe everyone doesn't expect him to start every game or kind of see start from the get, like most of the time he's an impact sub. He offered his weight in gold, and to be fair to him, we played to his strengths as well. You know, Wallace getting down the left hand side, Murray Wallace that is, getting deliveries into the box. I want to name check Jed Wallace, mate, because I don't know where he was yesterday. Obviously, our best player by a country mile, and we all know it, but big occasion and kind of missed him a little bit. He was another one that was making mistakes, you know, doing too much with the ball, I think, where he's not trusting his teammates at times because the back's against the wall and he loses the ball. And he probably done that 3 or 4 occasions, mate.
Yeah, and he seemed to be going in silly as well, you know, going in really hard on players. You could see him getting frustrated. I mean, it was it Cavani where he basically fucking just took him out, I think, during the second half. So, I mean, I just think the whole occasion got to him. It was just everything about it got to him, whether or not it was the fact that it was live on telly. But to me, you know, if you're a player playing in that team and they're live on telly, it's time for you to show the world what you can do. People are watching, especially Jed, where he's saying, you know, he wants a Premiership opportunity. It's nothing to do with money. It's this, that, and the other. He wants a Premier opportunity. But unfortunately, that performance last night doesn't bode well for him for Premiership teams. If he can't handle Fulham and he gets too frustrated, he's going to get that every week.
Definitely, mate. I mean, we put some tweets out online, obviously asked for people's reactions. I thought I'd read some of them out whilst obviously I'm sure Mickey's going to have to round up his dog in a second, see where she is. But some reaction online. Mum to JS sick, mum to Jez and CX, and there's his dog sitting there well behaved waiting for him. Our thoughts is thank God for Bartman. That is obviously Bart Bielkowski. Would have been worse without him and those 4 major saves. And was it Lendog who put his body on the line to stop on the floor to stop one? We got better once that Mara came on, was brought on with Evans. Just our thoughts. Okay, interesting the thoughts there. The emotional one, Fulham was stronger on the ball, faster in their build-up play, and suffocated us when we're in possession. A standard that we can only dream of. Teams like Fulham need roughing up, and we only realised that on the 80th minute. Hopefully our confidence is not too much. Men versus boys, says Loyal Wolf. Slick one-touch football. Could have been a cricket score. Embarrassing. Tommy Morgan says, I can take being outclassed, but I can't take the lack of effort and fitness. They won every second ball and were so much quicker than us to react to all over the pitch. Missed Hutch massively. Can't pick anyone out apart from Keith, who wouldn't stop. Mate, he stole my words there because I was about to say about Hutchinson. Jake Saunders tweeted yesterday that Rout confirmed he could be out for 5 to 6 weeks. Obviously, ruled him out for at least the next 3 games before the international break. I mean, I said it before. I think, you know, I thought he was class a couple games. You know, I remember going to Ipswich. I know it's a pre-season game, but he was top draw. First game of the season against QPR, he was top draw. He just leads by example, mate. And I think you miss him more when he's out of the team.
Yeah. No, it's the motorbike back again. I totally agree with you. Hutch is a massive loss to us. But it was as if he's out and the rest of the team suddenly think, shit, we're not going to be able to defend without him. And you just think, you know, we can. It's the same as when Jed Wallace ain't in the team, we don't seem to be able to perform. But we can. And I think it's just a belief. But yesterday, I agree with one of those. I don't know who it was now because I'm not sitting in front of a laptop, so I can't see which ones they are. But the guy who said that we were outperformed, out fitness. They were winning every second ball. They knew where balls were going to go, whether or not they were mistake balls or not. They were there before us. They were there. They were all over them. And it just shows their pure class.
Mm-hmm.
They are a great team, and it shows where we need to be. But we're good enough to be, around that top half of the table all day long. We've got a good team, probably the best we've had for many years. But yesterday, if you were a neutral looking at that game, you'd think we're potentially going into a relegation battle if we play like that every game. I know it's only a couple of games in, and I'm not in any way thinking that we're going into a relegation battle at all. I think we'll be all right. It's early doors, and I think we'll pick it up. But you can see why some of those comments and people are doing it, because we were shocking, and a lot of people probably watching it on the telly was the first game they've seen us play this season. It was nothing to write home about, was it?
No, I mean, some more reactions. You said there about, obviously it's only 3 games in. Paul Rogers says, quite simply, how should you react to that game? By not overreacting. Let's put into context there. I think Kenny Jackett always used to say, and I use this kind of analogy a lot as well, see where you are after 12 games in the league, 10 to 12 games. And albeit, when you think about the 3 games we've had, QPR, a lot of people fancy them to be up there. Blackburn, typically a decent championship side. A lot of people think they've struggled, but I think they've, people underestimate obviously the talent they've already got there and the money they've already spent on a couple of their players. And then you have Fulham coming to town, who everyone expects to be up there. Tough start to the season, really, mate, when you put it that way.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I agree with you. I think 12 games in, we'll have a look how we are and see what we do. But at the moment, I don't think it's time to panic. I don't think it's time to press the button. I think, what it does show is that we need a creative midfielder. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Smith was all right last night. I think he was trying his hardest. He hasn't got the legs, but, if we can give him opportunities, I think he'll probably take them quite happily.
Yep. And just to finish this part, a few more reactions. Ryan Waterman here, drowning my sorrows, Fulham with a huge budget squad. Romeo caught out time and time again. Jed well under par. Charlie Hubbs says, don't react to it. Just have a shot of Jack Daniels and go to sleep. That's a nice one there, mate, I think.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
Dan Tadman, the budgets are relevant. The players had no mental belief that they could get anything from the game until the 86 minutes in. 4 at the back made things slightly better second half. However, the mental attributes of a few players challenged me tonight. Cooper especially. Interesting, that one there. Neil says a change of formation needs to be considered for the next game or two. David MFC, a team with no money who are shit in the Premier League but good in the Championship versus an average Championship team. Sean says we was outclassed, outfought and outplayed. Carly sent a gif in which made me laugh last night. Was everything is better with a lot of tequila. That was quite, it's fair. I think alcohol, Mill drove a few fans to alcohol last night, mate. And finally from Jim, better side 1-2 flat us massively. I can accept being beat, but lack of effort by some players was unacceptable.
No, I totally agree. And I think the way to look at it is that, Fulham is too good for the Championship, but too shit for the Premiership. And that's that's it. But again, it goes to show about these poxy parachute. What these were brought in for was to save people losing their jobs, keep people going for a little while, and all that. Not being able to go out and spend 20 odd million pound on a player, to try and defend yourself so you can go back up. But unfortunately, you're never going to stop these parachute payments because the Premiership people aren't going to let you do it. So it is what it is, and we've got to deal with it. But they've got to do something to make it a little bit fairer on teams what are established Championship teams, compared with teams what just yo-yo up and down from the Prem and the Championship.
Yeah, I could talk an hours in a day about this parachute payment stuff because
me and you both.
It's brought in, obviously, like you look at horror examples of, Portsmouth in recent years, Bradford's going back a little bit more, clubs that are kind of crippled, obviously Leeds, going down to League Ones. Yeah, all these clubs that are kind of, nosediving, it's there to kind of save them. But at the same time, you look at these clubs and they're still falling away by the wayside still. It's because it's, like I said, the balancing game, risk kind of element to it. I do subscribe to the idea that, Fulham are too good for us. But at the same time, end of the day, it's 11v11 on a football pitch. And I think the tactics weren't, spot on yesterday, which is the first time I say that about Barrett for a long while. I think the players, obviously, like I said, just countless errors. I think if the game plan was maybe executed a bit better, it could have been a different story. And I think a lot of people I agree with here, like you should have got up and at them. Like what you said, Mickey, about Leicester coming to town, like I would say when we have Watford, Bournemouth, Everton. you get up and at teams, if you cause issues at their, their centre halves, they're luxury players in Championship standards. They don't really like the rough and tough sometimes of the Championship. Matt Smith coming at you and stuff like that. Maybe it's a learning curve for Rowett as well yesterday. So we'll have to wait and see on that one.
No, I totally agree.
Anything else you want to chuck into part one, mate, before we finish up here?
No, I think we're done, mate. We're obviously going to talk about the pathetic broadcaster in part two. So I'll hold it back. I'll hold it back for that.
I'm going to have to just go let you rip, I think. But yeah, we're back in a second after this. All right, Mickey, part two. You mentioned it just then. Off you go. Talk to me about Sky Sports News and Sky Sports in general.
They're just fucking stitch-up artists. The problem is that they got involved with whatever you want to call it, gesture, movement, whatever it was, and then realised that actually it had gone too far down the line and they can't get out of it. So, how many teams so far this season, Premier Championships, have had booing at the start of the game? But yet they want to make us out to be wrong. We are the fucking evil of football. We are, as Reg says, we are the convenient peg to hang, the troubles of the world on. Do you know what I mean? That's not the right quote, but you know what I mean, right? They're just, it was a pure stitch up, Gary, well done. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, Gary's true what he's saying. There is a rift amongst football players. All football players are saying, what's it achieving? And I agree. I think what would be a much better what would be a much better gesture and everything else is if Sky stuck their hands in their big fat pockets and pulled out 10-20 million pounds and went, here you go, kick it out. We're going to sponsor you now per year to actually do something, rather than at the moment we're just glorifying and alienating people. When kick it out, especially now with the leadership it's got now, could actually do some proper good going forward, rather than at the moment we just fucking, we're the ones who, fans who would have booed. Look, will I boo? Probably not. But that doesn't take away that people have got a right to do what they want to do. If they want to kneel, they want to boo, that's it. I don't think the people booing are racist. But, look, if you want to listen to some common sense on this, today, which is Wednesday, on TalkSport, go on there, listen back between 11:30 and 12, and Simon Jordan nails it. Absolutely fucking nails it. Jim White, as usual, he's got splinters on his ass because he sits on a fucking fence. But Simon Jordan ain't afraid to speak the truth, and he's nailed it on. You can't have one without the other. If we're not allowed to do this, then why can't we? And when we do it, why do you sit there and say instant reaction to it is, oh, you're racist? Because I honestly don't think that, there are most of the people what boo across the country are racist. I wouldn't do it, but that's not to say that other people haven't got that right to do it. If that's the only way they can feel to make a stand, then it is what it is. But no one wants to talk to us. No one wants to speak about it. Everyone just wants to throw the marker.
Yeah, I mean, to put the quote, and I've just put it on Twitter as well, mate. A convenient coat peg upon which football and society can hang its ills. Reg Burr in the 1980s, former Millwall chairman. There you go, mate. I mean, obviously, I agree with a lot of what you're saying there, mate. And I think, for me anyway, it's no surprise that, I think Sky probably chomping at the bit to wait for that moment yesterday where they can turn around and go, here we go, let's get that moment where we can pin it on Millwall again. And I think, of course, it's right or wrong. People could decide it for themselves. I think, people are right to air their own opinion, I suppose. And I think for me anyway, and it's not to be critical of the club, because I would never dream to do so, and the people that run the club, because, people like John Berylson, who was on the pitch on Saturday, we all lauded him for the right reasons on Saturday. I just wonder, and I know, Mickey, you're in between there in your moment there, I just wonder whether the club could have preempted this yesterday by either coming out with that inequality banner or doing something where, they could come around and just kind of stop Sky from having their moment. Yes, if we booed the knee, whatever. But if we come out that inequality banner that we did against the QPR, I'm pretty sure that would have come out to an ovation from everyone in the crowd, because it's not about us disagreeing with equality, not in the slightest, in my opinion. But
no, I totally
I wonder if the club
I
could have maybe done something there yesterday, just kind of preempt it, because I'm not surprised by it. You're not surprised by it. I think anyone that's been following me all for enough years knows what it's going to be like in the media. So I wonder if the club could have done something there, mate, to maybe, preempt it.
Yeah, maybe, but hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? it's not as if it's new to us. It's not as if it's just us. You know, every team's been doing it, yet we're the ones who get alienated for it. And Sky have got form for it. You know, remember the interview when after the Everton game, when Neil Harris got asked loads of questions, and all they did is suddenly hijacked, you know, the trouble with Everton, and then all they were doing was showing that question and that answer over and over and over on repeat. They've got form, but what do you do? I don't know what you do. I mean, to me, I'm sort of gaining on the side of, you know, get rid of Sky, you know, ban Sky. But then again, you're going to give them more ammunition to fight you on, aren't you? And they're just going to use it against you. But what you got now is every team what comes to Millwall now is going to end up taking the knee, regardless if they've taken the knee for the rest of the games or not. They're going to take it just to keep playing pressure on. But again, you know, what is there to do? You know, we need someone like Kick It Out, the FA, the EFL, everyone else to suddenly make a stand and say, right, this is the new system. This is the new thing. This is what we're going to do. And this is how we're going to move forward. Everyone's going to back it, which we would. All Millwall fans would back the quality or something else because they're not racist. I mean, I don't know many clubs what have done what we've done in you know, the last 10 years to go towards racism. I don't know how many, you know, many more clubs would have done more than what we have, yet it never gets publicised. It's all, oh, well, yeah, Millwall racist. When you can't be far from the truth. I bet if you check the police records and everything else, I bet we're one of the, you know, if not the lowest, one of the lowest for any racial arrests. I just think it's madness. The last time I checked, we were. So, you know, look, at the end of the day, our motto is no one likes us, we don't care.
Correct.
And the truth is, we don't care. But you know what? It's SC16, mate. You can't be fucking tarring Millwall with, you know, just because you can. That's just bollocks. It's just get a new, get a new narrative, get something else, and just carry on.
A tip of the hat to Rowett though after his post-match interview last night. I think if he done anything right yesterday, I think he answered that really well and obviously kind of put it back in the reporter's face. I think in a sense. And yeah, I mean, I think we'll put that to bed there. I think if you're of the younger generation from Millwall fans and you've not really, you know, I suppose the hooliganism element has gone a little bit, and you know, the no one likes we don't care moment has maybe not been tested for you yet. But
it's history though.
This is it. You know, for me anyway.
Forget it.
No one likes we don't care. It sticks with me for a reason, and I know it's the same with you, Mickey. So maybe, you know, just this is a little. I suppose the younger generation of fans will need to kind of
speak to your granddad, speak to your dad, speak to the older generation, and actually find out. You know, don't listen to, you know, Green Street Green and all that. Some of those hooligan element, what people class as a hooligan element, stopped a lot of the non-hooligan element over the years, getting battered and everything else, and protected them and looked after them and everything else. So you can't hide that they're part of our history. And forever and a day, they will stay part of our history because it is what it is.
I'm not laughing at you, mate. I'm laughing at the action shot here you're getting with your dog. There you go. Look at that. You see? Name me a single podcast out there or Millwall fan channel that does what we do here. Commitment to the cause is what we do. Mate, I'm going to wrap it up here. What I want to do is obviously a little bit of Cardiff. They drew 2-2 yesterday. Managed to get a 2-2 draw last minute against Peterborough. They were 2-0 down, managed to come back. I think their goalkeeper was involved in the last minute goal, and he also made an outstanding save, supposedly. They're going to be a tough test, ain't they, on Saturday, going up there. And it always is a tough place. Mick McCarthy sides. They play a bit like us, mate. I think all 5 of their goals this season, I saw a stat somewhere, have been all from headers.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, I think I can see a 0-0 or 1-1. I can see another draw. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it'll probably be a draw. I think it'll be a good draw if we can get a draw away to Cardiff. I think it'll be a result. So yeah, or we can nick it. You know, one of the two. I'll take either way, but I think it'll either be a 1-0 or a 0-0 1-0 draw.
Definitely, I agree with you there, mate. And like I said, it's going to backs against the wall kind of performance will be required. But go on, mate. I'll let you do.
Oh, just to sit there and say, you know, you're the football man and I'm not, but I'm beating you in a prediction league.
I thought we'd get away without saying that today.
No way,
you might have forgot.
No way! Fucking no way.
It just shows I know fuck all. I know fuck all about the championship. That's what it proves.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, check out News at Den Prediction League. We put videos out weekly where I'm putting my predictions in. I might have to get Mickey to share his predictions so I can copy them this week instead for a change. I'm pretty sure he's reading mine and going, let me change that. I'll do this.
No,
he's working from that. So
I'm not watching yours at all. Do you know what I mean? I'm doing mine because I just look at it. I'll do a video on mine, I think, and you'll like the way I pick mine. They're quite good.
Yeah, well, I think we'll wrap this up one here anyway. If you're listening, or if you're watching on YouTube, we're going to put a 6-minute segment at the end of this for audio versions of Kai's review of the game and also his thoughts. I'm not going to put it on YouTube. I think it's going to be a little thing to add on to the audio side. So check that out. If you're obviously new around here, be sure to subscribe and leave a like on the video. And like I said, check out our audio version for the last 6 minutes of Kai's roundup. Anything else you want to add, Mickey, before we go?
No, check out the website. It's all been updated and changed, and it looks pretty. And yeah, just have a look and show us your love. Make sure you subscribe, tell your mates, and continue. And thank you to everyone who's subscribed recently. And thank you very much for listening, because you're keeping us the #1 Millwall podcast in the charts. So much appreciated.
Mickey and his charts. We're hustling here anyway. As you can see, we're making sure we're getting shows out twice a week and on the days we want to get them out. Hence Mickey being out on his dog walk and fitting us in here. So I appreciate you stepping in today, Mickey, mate. And I'll see you on Sunday.
Yes, mate. Oh, yes.
We're back for a Sunday show. So yeah, hopefully we'll do the business on Saturday. Fingers crossed we do. And we'll be back on Sunday, like I said there, for another show. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you later.